Hello everyone, welcome to the latest episode, and today I have something very unusual from the world of Wilds of Eldraine, and this deck is all about tapping. We will tap the opponent's creatures literally to death, and Wilds of Eldraine offers so many great cards that interact together better than I had imagined. So it's tap here, tap there, it's tapping everywhere. And what else makes this tap ability so powerful? A lot of these cards are not only tapping the creatures, now they also put this very underestimated stun counter that makes them stay tapped for one or even more rounds. And one word is essential in this strategy, it's the legendary word whenever. Because if we tap two creatures with one spell, for each creature tapped we trigger one of the coolest enchantments, and spoiler, it's Solitary Sanctuary. At first glance this deck doesn't appear to be threatening nor somehow frightening for the opponent, of course because it's just tapping, but I guarantee you it will drive the opponent mad and crazy once we tap them constantly and trigger some sick combos. So the goal is to paralyze the opponent's army and to enhance our creatures, draw cards and create token creatures. So let's take a closer look at the creatures. This deck doesn't include a lot of creatures, but all of them have something to do with tap. The most essential and the heart of this deck is our Queen Hylda of the Icy Crown, which is a complete blast when it's on the battlefield. It's expensive, yes, so in most cases I play her in round 5 to use her ability for 1 mana, but she also interacts great with her own crown, which is depicted here. This is the artifact, Hylda's Crown of Winter, which allows us to tap opponent's creatures in our turn for free, otherwise we have to pay for 1 mana. So let's go back to Hylda. This card can be incredibly powerful because whenever we tap an untapped creature, that's also important, an opponent controls, you may pay 1 mana and can decide among the following effects. Either we create a 4/4 white-blue elemental creature token, or we put a +1/+1 counter on each creature we control, or we scry for 2 and then draw a card. You can see how powerful and versatile this card is. We can also just use our cheap spells, tap our opponent's creatures and use Hylda. And even the artifact Hylda's Crown of Winter is the best card for that. I mean, because we can just do it for free. So even our Frostbridge guard for 2 mana, we can enhance him so much that even he will become a threat, and he also carries an ability where we can tap a target creature for 3 mana, but this happens only in very extreme situations when we don't have any other spells. Then we have his brother here, Ice Rod Sentry. It's a much better version of Frostbridge Guard. For 3 mana it's a 2/3 creature with vigilance, but whenever this creature attacks we may pay 2 mana and we can tap a target creature, but the other ability is much better. Whenever we tap an untapped creature with our other spell or artifacts, our elemental soldier gets +2/+1 until end of turn. And yeah, as I said, my favorite word in this deck is definitely whenever. So you can see almost every card has this whenever. Then we also have a flying fairy creature for 1 mana, also with the tap ability that we can use once. The other core in this deck is Sharae of Numbing Depths for 4 mana. When this creature enters the battlefield, tap target creature and put a stun counter on it. And whenever we tap 1 or more untapped creatures our opponents control, we draw a card. But this ability triggers unfortunately only once each turn, but yeah, it's an excellent card for card drawing. So let's move on to the sorcery spells. So here we have actually only 3 in place, but this one hits hard, because we tap a target creature an opponent controls and we put 3 stun counters on it and we scry for 2. I mean, this can be lethal for the opponent. It will delay our opponent extremely if we put it on the right creature, if it's a big creature with trample for example. Also maybe a creature that our opponent has to tap to trigger something. As I said, yeah, it can be lethal for the opponent. Instant spells, yeah, on the other hand we have plenty of instant spells. First of all, Plunk in the Winter for 2 mana, here we have it. We tap up to 1 target creature, we scry for 1 and draw a card. Very basic, very simple. For 1 mana more we have Succumb to the Cold here, also 3 copies. where we tap one or two target creatures an opponent controls and we put a stun counter on each of them in addition. Just imagine if we already have Hylda on the battlefield, how much impact this creature would make casting those sorcery and instant spells. The last instant spell is Farsight Ritual, the most expensive here for 4 mana. Yeah, it allows us to draw more cards actually. Enchantments, so here we have some of the best enchantments in the series. So this one is pumping up all our creatures. It's the Essence of Power, it's the tank where the whole power comes from. Yeah, call it how you want it, but this one is just outstanding. It's the Solitary Sanctuary. When this enchantment enters the battlefield, tap target creature an opponent controls and put a stun counter on it. What comes next is just fantastic, whenever. And here we have our favorite word. Whenever you tap an untapped creature an opponent controls, put a +1/+1 counter on target creature you control. I'm telling you, and this can escalate very quickly, even more when we have some like 2 copies or even 3 copies of that enchantment on the battlefield. We can just distribute counters with that enchantment and we can, I mean, it will escalate, I can tell you that. Then we also have our Queen Hylda, and also then we can also put more counters on our creatures. And the other one we have here is Virtue of Loyalty for 5 mana. At the beginning of our end step, put a +1/+1 counter on each creature you control. And the best thing about this, we can also untap it. We can attack and then untap it. Yeah, all of our creatures. So finally, we have also Bitter Chill, also an enchantment aura, where we can get rid of big creatures by enchanting it with this aura, so it will be impossible for the creature to untap. Artifacts, here we have only one, and that's Hylda's Crown of Winter. Yeah, and as I already mentioned at the beginning, we have the Hylda's Crown of Winter artifact, and it fits so well because in our turn we don't have to spend to tap opponent's creatures, and if we need more cards we can also sacrifice this artifact, and for each tapped creature our opponent controls we draw a card. So in total we have 24 lands as usual, 12 islands, 12 plains. Yeah, that's all. We have also a sideboard, I mean that's nothing special. We have another copy of Snare Master's Pride, that's all actually. So I would say let's play some games. So here we go, we are playing against Chesig, and yeah, I'm really excited to play with a new deck, especially with this tap deck because it's very unusual, it's something different. And yeah, we will try to kill the opponent just by tapping his creatures, and then we will also pump up our creatures with the +1/+1 counters with Hylda of the Icy Crown. And this hand is very decent. We have at the start Hylda of the Icy Crown and Sharae. So those are yeah, the best cards in this deck. Also the only, okay, maybe we need also the Sanctuary and the Crown just to make it complete, but at the beginning this is a very good start. Also we have freeze in place, so we can also put some stun counters. So Ambrosia Whiteheart, it's one of those new Final Fantasy cards. Yeah, I mean, I think there is a huge hype around this new published set. I mean, because you can also see the prices for the for those displays. It's much higher. It's like similar to Lord of the Rings. It's like above 170, 80, I think. And yeah, you can see that people are crazy about this set. So yeah, we'll just put a stun counter on this creature. And actually I'm not a fan, I don't know anything about this Final Fantasy. I never played the game. I never played the games actually. So here so we are playing against a set block deck. Steelskin, Moogle Merchant for 1 mana, lifelink, and wait. So target opponent gains control of another target permanent you control for just 2 mana and tapping that creature. If they do, you draw a card. Does it mean that they can just take control of any of our cards? I'm not sure, I have never seen those cards actually. So let's see, I mean, I think maybe it's better just to tap this creature, so we will prevent the opponent by tapping its creature. Yeah, you can see, I mean, those stun counters, don't underestimate those, because once they're on the battlefield, it can be very annoying for the opponent, because, yeah, they will remain for a while tapped. Traveling Chocobo, 3-2, not a flying creature, even it's a bird. So here we have the next stun counter. Yeah, so what does it can? I mean, okay, they can always look at the top of their card of their library. This one, tap target non-enchantment creature. I think you can also make a bird deck. You see Ambrosia Whiteheart, also Traveling Chocobo. I mean, yeah. As I was saying at the beginning, actually I never played any of those Final Fantasy games, and I'm really excited when I see those cards, because they seem to be very powerful, and in this case actually it's possible to make a bird deck, and yeah, that would be a challenge also. So let's attack. So next, I mean, we have also Hylda of the Icy Crown. So I was keeping that card, so we have 5 mana. Once we play that, we can also use the... Yeah, actually we should also need Hylda's Crown of Winter on the battlefield, because then we can tap for free in our turn. And this, yeah, this matches perfectly with Hylda of the Icy Crown. Traveling Chocobo, yeah, 3-2. I think they have something, because they would never sacrifice it that easy. So they have definitely something on their hand. Okay, landfall, yeah, that's the ability. So whenever a land comes on the battlefield, it gets +1/+0, or yeah. Reminds me of that cat deck that I had. Also with the ability landfall. So they will just attach it to this bird creature. It's a 4/3 creature now. So what are we going to do here? Yeah, the problem is we just lack one mana. Hylda's Crown of Winter. Yeah, succumb to the cold. The problem is because, yeah, we have to be careful. It has to be always an untapped creature. So then we can also benefit from Sharae, for example. Sharae ability that will tap an untapped creature and will draw a card. Yeah, let's just produce some more counters, and we'll tap Ambrosia Whiteheart, also with a stun counter on it. And Frostbridge Guard, it's now a 4/4 creature. So let's attack first. So we'll just put some pressure on the opponent. End turn. Oh yeah, this might be a problem, the landfall ability, but the good thing is, yeah, we can tap it before they are going to attack with this creature, for example. We can also cast Succumb to the cold, tap this creature, so they are unable to attack with this creature. Okay, they will exile. Let's see what they are going to exile, but first we will just tap those 2 creatures. And maybe we'll just put... I mean, we can distribute... Actually, we can distribute 4 counters, because that's the trick, actually. Because of this word, whenever we tap something, and with this card, with Succumb to the Cold, we are able to tap 2 creatures at once. And this is just my favorite word. Whenever, so we can just distribute 4 counters. And also here, Solitary Sanctuary, whenever. So they are equipping this cat creature. Yeah, down to 10. Plunk into winter. So I think it's time to... Yeah, we are still missing 1 land. Because then we could also cast Hylda's Crown of Winter and Ice Road Sentry. It would be great if Hylda of the Icy Crown, if this creature enters the battlefield, we would also tap something. But actually, you can see all those creatures are already tapped, so we'll not get anything. I think we can just put... it's difficult, to be honest. Actually, we can... On the other hand, we can also wait, because we have Plunk into Winter. Yeah, we have 2 copies of Hylda. I mean, 1 copy has to be on the battlefield. And then we can still cast Plunk into Winter. We can tap and we can also draw a card. Oh yeah, I mean, it's a Final Fantasy block deck, I like that. I mean, which of these we can tap? I'm a little bit scary of that. Scared of Ambrosia Whiteheart. So Frostbridge Guard. Yeah, we don't need. I mean, we can also produce some elemental tokens with Hylda. And yeah, let me also know in the comments below if you are also going to purchase the Final Fantasy display. I mean, I don't think I will, because it's just too expensive and I'm not a huge fan, but when I see those cards, it's very interesting, so I will just take a look on maybe Card Market, and yeah, let's see if those cards are actually expensive. Because if you just see, look at the other sets that were released by MTG, Wizards of the Coast, you can see, I mean, those cards will never match the price of those displays. I mean, the display currently costs like 150 euro, and then you have 30 boosters with 14-15 cards, and the problem is, I mean, there are so many uncommon, yeah, so GG, uncommon and commons, and the value of these cards is actually pretty low. It's just 2 cents, 5 cents max. So maybe it's better just to create a deck. So yeah, Ambrosia Whiteheart. So yeah, that was the Final Fantasy deck, block match, and yeah, to be honest, I'm really also looking forward to create one of these decks. So Stiltskin, yeah, Moogle. I don't know what the kind of creature that is. Looks like a cat. Yeah, I was just afraid of that because I don't know what this creature can do. Maybe they can just steal some of our cards. So yeah, but it looks fun. So yeah, and this one, yeah, I was curious. You may look at the top card of your library. Anytime you may play lands and cast birds. So yeah, it was something about a bird deck. From the top of your library, if a land or bird you control entering the battlefield causes a triggered ability of a permanent you control to trigger, that ability triggers an additional time. So, okay, so the landfall ability would trigger, for example, twice with those birds. So, yeah, I mean, if you have this card, Traveling Chocobo, you have to make a bird deck. Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty sure there are some very mighty birds creatures in this deck. 3-2, I mean, that can escalate. And it's pretty cheap also, 3 mana, 3-2, and then you have those 2 very powerful abilities looking at the top card of your library, and also, yeah, triggers it twice. So, but yeah, here, Ice Road Sentry, freeze in place. I mean, you can see those stun counters are sometimes it makes a huge impact. So yeah, that was the episode about the block match. So if you like the format, please subscribe, leave a comment, and see you next time. Bye bye.